All right, let's talk about the WHO, shall we? The World Health Organization is defeated in its original pandemic treaty, and that is a huge win. This is the treaty that they tried to get every nation state to sign that would have given them the power to declare pandemics, lockdowns, vaccine mandates, vaccine passports, infodemics, meaning information they didn't like that they thought could be some sort of problem and possibly lead to a pandemic. I mean, literally fighting against information. The globalist hell of a document went through several drafts. We covered it extensively here on the show. It was supposed to be ratified in May of 2024, but then you remember countries protested. Remember countries in Africa, a number of countries in Africa stood up and said no. Not including the United States, though, under President Biden. They were all in on giving up our sovereignty to the WHO. The Biden administration loved it. They were prepared to sign the damn thing. They championed it. And by the way, if you spoke out against it, you would be banned and censored on social media like we were. Have videos deranked, demonetized, or blocked altogether. They didn't want you talking out against this. They wanted it. This was a huge move by Tedros and Klaus Schwab and all of these clowns. We can thank Australia, Japan, Slovakia, and some politicians in the UK and others for protesting this treaty. And at the outset, again, a number of countries in Africa that said no way. And by the way, we can thank the Trump administration for withdrawing from the WHO. So there is no chance of the United States even signing this document. Great news. The U.S. is not totally out of the WHO, though, so don't get too excited about it. The U.S. is still a part of the PAHO, which is the Pan American Health Organization, which is the America's branch of the WHO. But there's no push to sign this treaty. No one in the Trump administration is pushing for this. So what will the pandemic treaty be now that it's been totally castrated? It's become totally impotent. We don't know for sure because they haven't published the new draft yet. They only announced that they have finalized the treaty and will submit a draft at the upcoming World Health Assembly in May. Now, what we need to look for is whether or not they have made these edits. You may recall that in 2023, they updated their Global Powers Treaty and made this edit, meaning the countries were under obligations to do what they said. Yeah, you have to do what we say. Remember this non-binding advice means just advice. Standing recommendation means non. So they just got rid of the non-binding part. Well, the announcement of the new treaty makes assurances that they do not mean to take over a nation's sovereignty. Okay. Just a little side thing we just dropped in there. We don't mean to take away your sovereignty. But this proposal affirms the sovereignty of countries to address public health matters within their borders and provides that nothing in the draft agreement shall be interpreted as providing WHO with authority to direct, order, alter, or prescribe national laws or policies or mandates to states to take specific actions such as ban or accept travelers, impose vaccination mandates, or therapeutic or diagnostic measures, or implement lockdowns. So it took all of us yelling and screaming and countries standing up and saying absolutely not for them to add in this nugget.
But
it says it's crazy. Go ahead, Philip.
But then what sorry, excuse me. Then what is the point of this treaty? Because if the treaty does nothing, it seems to have no teeth. What are they? Yeah, well, not even no teeth. It looks like they took the mouth off of it. They're just saying like we have no. It's like we're just going to advise. Like, okay, you could do that. What am I signing? Why? It's a waste of time.
Right. Well, in many ways, it's like with the United Nations, right? We're not taking away your sovereignty, but we'll kind of tell you what to do. You know, and you still have your sovereignty, but let's be honest, you really don't. You know, you're part of the EU. You still have your sovereignty, but let's be honest. If you want that money, if you want us to be doing anything to help, sorry, you're going to have to adhere to our plan. Like that's the way it works, right? It'll be money. It'll be some sort of other directorate.
Yeah, sort of like the EU wants to take away Hungary's ability to vote in the EU. Like you can still be here, but you can no longer vote because we don't like how you vote. It's not very democratic.
Right. Exactly. So it affirms It says that it affirms the sovereignty of countries to address the public health matters within its own borders. So they don't want to do those things now. Like, of course, we never wanted to do that. Like, we knew better all along. Really? But the pandemic treaty drafts, the WHO had a placeholder for infodemics, which gave them the power to censor people in all member countries. They could just censor you. It didn't matter if you had a sovereign. Like, we can literally, if there's an overabundance of information, accurate or not, which makes it difficult for individuals to adopt behaviors that will protect their health, blah, 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 we can basically just come in and censor your country. Censor it. I mean, we saw the United Nations boasting how they basically controlled climate results in Google search results. So the United Nations like controls Google search results. Okay. So they can just block out information that's not part of their plan. We talked about this earlier, but it would make it difficult for individuals to adopt behaviors that they want you to, basically. So I don't want to see that word come back in the documents at all. Infodemics. It's ridiculous. We will read it when they finally publish it. We don't have the draft yet. They're supposed to have the document give like 6 months advance of voting according to Article 73 of the WHO Constitution, so that member states actually have adequate time to review and deliberate on the significant changes. But their announcement seems to indicate that they will publish it in May of this year and then put it up for a vote, so few countries will have a chance to fully review it and then debate it back home, kind of sneaky. It's just like what we do in Congress. Like, oh, here's this massive budget. Go vote on it. The vote's tonight, and it's 11,000 pages. Who's going to read it? Will they try to read it fast in May? I don't know. You should tell your lawmakers, though, that you want time to consider it, that your country needs time to consider it. Nevertheless, I do see this as a major backing down from the WHO on the sovereignty question. And, this is, again, the United States is not part of it, but we'll see if these other countries take part in it as well. But it seems to be a big blow to globalists in the past few days, which I'm very excited about.